Hello, everybody. My name is Christopher Wood. Welcome to Polaris Media. Excuse me. I was formerly Thin Blue Line. Oh, excuse me. Wow. I'm choking on my pop. A little history here. Wow. I am 53 years old. Sorry, I'm having my dog freak out on me. I am 53 years old, and I am a 6-year revenge retaliation victim of Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police. I am a 6-year human trafficking victim of Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police. I spoke about some stuff that was taking place, crimes that were happening, homeless trafficking, and homeless exploitation for monetary gain out of a place called the Morning Star Mission, and possible money laundering. As a result, in August of 2019, I was at an address in Napanee, Ontario, and I was sitting outside. It was August 6th, approximately 3 p.m. in the afternoon. O.p.p chief, he went by. He was driving a white Jeep Wrangler. He waved at me. I waved back. When I waved back, a black truck pulled up beside him, and they pointed something. They shot it, and it went into my right ear. Whatever it was, I started having problems after that. It was burning, and it was actually starting to move through my head. And while it was moving through my head, the back part of my head, my occipital lobe, I was getting serious burning. I was getting electric shocking to the point where it was actually spider veining. Blood vessels were spider veining across my skull. I then had my skull split internally from whatever was shot into me. Having a lot of problems. I go to the hospital to find out what's going on. November of that year, 2019, I went to get a CAT scan appointment. One of the people that's involved with this was at the doctor's appointment, at my CAT scan appointment. I was there with my mother and somebody else at the time when she was still alive. And she realized I was there with my mother and someone else. She walked right by us. I go in to get my CAT scan done. I wanted to see the results, picture results. I was automatically told that I am not going to see them. I would not understand them, assuming I'm stupid, told that I need medication and a lot of other stuff. So not happy about not getting my results and wondering what was going on because I was still having a lot of problems. Obviously, my skull was being internally split from the inside after I was shot. I then go to Kingston General Hospital and to find out what was going on. They conveniently got a phone call stating that I was a suicidal self-harmer. I had long hair at the time. I have tattoos. Whoever the call come from, it was believed, and I was not taken serious. I am not a suicidal self-harmer in any way, shape, or form. Never have been, never will be. I am wood, I am life, and I am about life. So 100% lie, but because whoever the call come from, I was not taken serious, and I did not get help or to get the proof as to what was shot into me. So I then had to start going to Lennox and Addington County General Hospital quite often because of the problems that I was having. As a result, they were trying to make this look like a psychological thing. I was going there, I was getting treated like piece of shit. I was being belittled. I was being name called. I was being locked in rooms and everything else. I was getting up and I was walking out a lot of the time after that was happening. And they were turning it around to try to make it look like I was just there to cause problems and I was refusing their help. No, not the case whatsoever. I was being treated like a piece of shit. Still having problems. My skull swelling up like a balloon, going flat, and everything else. Many different shapes and sizes. I go to Belleville General Hospital. After that, there was a French doctor working. He walked in and he proceeded to tell me that I am looking at your file. You need a psychiatrist. There is nothing medically we can do for you. Da 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 da. Not going to do anything for you. You need to leave. I was automatically refused treatment and kicked out. While all of this was happening, going back and forth to the hospitals and everything, in the meantime, after I was shot, there was a guy that come on to the scene. He went by the name Bill Woldridge. He was living at 34 Water Street. He then started stalking me. Every time I would go out my door, he was always right there. He was constantly walking back and forth past my place. All hours of the day and night. I would go out, he was automatically right there. I would go downtown, he was automatically right there, just like clockwork. And because of the pattern, obviously, the stalking, I got his picture. But I also come to find out that he was also going to Tim Hortons daily and stalking children for the ex-O.p.p chief or commander for sex slavery trafficking, the very same one that had me shot. I then was still having a lot of medical problems, obviously. I then go back to KGH Kingston Hospital a second time. They once again get a phone call stating about drugs I do not do. Once again, because of my long hair and tattoos, whoever the call come from, to prevent me help, to prevent me proof and of what I was shot with once again. I do not do drugs. I have not done any drugs since 2013. I had an overdose and I'm glad it happened. It was a wake-up call. I had a slip up for 2 days in 2018. But 100% lie against me. But once again, whoever the call come from, and because of my long hair and tattoos, I was not taken serious. I was then didn't get the help I was there for. In the meantime, I'm still having to go back and forth to Lennox and Edmonton County General Hospital. And because of it, they were trying to turn this into a psychological thing. Every time I would go there conveniently, there was a mental health worker showing up there, and they were trying to make this look like a psychological thing, no matter how much proof I could prove, to try to go the crazy route to prevent me of what was happening with me from them. In the meantime, because of all the stuff going on, and the guy that was stalking children also and me, in the meantime, he was also stalking my mother as well. We actually went to Tim Hortons one time, and he showed up, sat right across the road, or across the next table from us, and stared at us the whole time. And I confronted him about it in the restaurant, about him stalking us, and that he was a pedophile and everything else. I went to O.p.p to try to get arresting and charging. I have video to show it and prove it. I was surrounded, hands on guns. In the meantime, I was getting stalked by the police every time I was going out, along with the one known as Bill Woldridge at the time. once again, because whatever was shot into me, I believe it was tracker or whatever the hell. But anyway, just like clockwork, every time I go out, every time I would try to do anything legal to get any help, I was being stopped and prevented. I tried once again going to O.p.p to get arresting and charging on cops, and the one known as Bill Wooldridge for the crimes that he was guilty of at the time. I was surrounded, hands on guns. I tried OIPRD more, 3 or 4 times actually. I have tried LICA a couple times. I have tried private prosecution, only to find out that the justice of the peace is actually involved, making threats, met threats, accusations, intimidations to prevent me pressing charges, and because of the crime that was done to me and from whom. I have been, while all of this was happening, May 27, 2021, there was a woman, because of me speaking of the crimes that were going on too, there was a woman named Shelley Hafner, May 27, 2021. I was at home. I took my dog out. As soon as I stepped out the door, I was automatically surrounded by a bunch of cops. I was then kidnapped. I was taken to Kingston under false pretenses of incompetency, and that was done in an attempt to shut me up because of me talking about what I was talking about, showing what I was showing, proving what I was proving, by whom, how, and why. When they found out 24 hours, when they found out what they had done, me asking for help 24 hours after or prior to them with the crimes against me, they found out what happened, and they left after they forced my blood and my piss. I was then, because of me having to go back and forth to the hospital to make this look like a psychological thing, I was then falsely arrested. I never had a criminal record or history, no association with the police in any way, shape, or form. I was then arrested and charged for harassment because of the crimes and everything that were taking place with me, the treatment refusals and everything else that was going on. I then was complaining about it because of human rights violations, and I was also stating that because of the crimes being serious, that some of the doctors need to be arrested and charged. As a result, it was done to me it was done to me, and once again, that was done to prevent anything legal on them for the crimes that they are guilty of. In an attempt to try to turn this around, also in an attempt to try to give me a criminal record, which I never previously had, to try to make this once again look like a psychological thing instead of an actual crime, from me being shot August 6, 2019. Ontario provincial police, who are human trafficking, sex slavery trafficking, torture crimes. I have been seriously skull split, serious brain injured, body mutilations, the kidnapping, lies, time buying, cover-ups, arrest refusals, false arrest, extortion, medical file falsifications for the discrimination and treatment refusals, blacklisting to assure that I did not get help or proof of what has happened to me. Once again, Ontario Provincial Police, whether they have transferred or not, to avoid arrest, charging, and lawsuits for the crimes that they are guilty of. And also with the lies, the time buying, the cover-ups, in hopes of deniability as well for the crimes that they are guilty of against me. Ex-chief or commander, year 2019, once again, had me shot on the corner of Highway 41, aka Center Street and Bridge Street, at the intersection stoplight. Staff Sergeants, years 2019-2021, kidnapping and a sodomy sex assault. And after that happened, I actually went to the hospital. I was covered in blood. I don't want to say too much, but I was actually pretty seriously hurt, and the doctors laughed in my face over it. Shannon Cork, Robert Lucas, he is actually a guy, O.p.p. or ex-O.p.p. He actually told me at one time he could fuck me, kill me, get away with it, money badge, family, town council. 100% right. There's Dave Weiss, a constable ward. Once again, Stacy, a mental health worker. She was Napanee Daily Tea Company, now Kingston AMHS. She is the one that showed up to my doctor's appointment. I had no association with AMHS or mental health in any way, shape, or form. She had no right or business to be there. Come to find out, her and the woman that falsified my medical file are also girlfriends as well. There is a O.p.p. There is also a Christine Schultz, the Shelley Huffner that had me kidnapped May 27, 2021. Robert Kane, which is O.p.p. drug cop, and Spencer Mills 14716. After I was shot and everything of me speaking of the police crimes, he actually showed up at my door pretty much to let me know that if I did not stop talking about what was taking place, there'd be serious consequences against me, and he was 100% right. While all of this was going on, my mother at the time, she was also being stalked by the one known as Bill Wooldridge. He has many alias names, but the guy known as Bill Wooldridge at the time, and he was also torturing her. Dr. Tatiana at Lennox and Addington County General Hospital, doctors that are criminally negligent in co-committing and covering up crimes for themselves, for the police, and others with intent to commit and cover up through the blacklisting. Dr. Tatiana Vakadinovic, Lennox and Addington County General Hospital, girlfriend to Stacy, once again, Kingston AMHS now. Dr. Joy Hadley, Dr. Barton, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. Waldron, Dr. McGregor, ex-CEO Cubby Duck, and patient relations. They're all criminally negligent and involved. Ex-CEO, he actually, I went to the hospital because of having serious lung problems. I went in and registered. He actually had a Paladin security guard come over and kick me out afterwards. And to this day, I still have lung problems from that. I was having all kinds of other problems too. In the meantime, I had an incident at Circle K in Napanee where I had to have an ambulance called on me, get rushed to the hospital. What can we do for you today, Mr. Wood? I had to pretty much crawl off the stretcher out of that hospital into a taxi and come home. And that is no joke. And while all of this was happening, I was still having all kinds of problems. I was going through full physical identity changes that were taking place with me after I was shot with whatever, with 100% proof. Serious skull deforming, my skull being flattened, rounded out, widened, elongated, shortened, and many other different shapes and sizes, and not being able to do anything about it while all of this was happening. my right brain being burned out of my head, my left brain being completely and totally screwed on me, serious deforming, blinding in my right eye. Ontario Provincial Police also have, and the one known also is Bill Wooldridge, is possibly an escapee inmate named Stephen Maven, because that's also one of his alias names. He has Bill Wooldridge, Bill Cooldridge, Bill Delarosable, James Bubbles, Stephen Maven, and Robert Cross were some of his alias names. He thinks that he and I were switched at birth, thinks that he is my dad, and was stalking and calling my mother mom at the time. He is a heroin addict. He also used to live in Picton, Ontario as well, and he frequents Toronto, Ontario. He is approximately 60, 65 years old. He lives pretty much right across the road in the same where I was shot in 2019, behind the law office in a gray duplex, or was, in Napanee on the corner of Bridge and Center. There is another Blair Hardy. He is allegedly an O.p.p supervisor. He also goes by Blair Cade as well. He used to drive a Mercedes. He and the one known as Bill Wooldridge are both guilty of stalking and torturing. They caused my mother cancer, and they killed her with intent, completely and totally lifting her skull up and what looked like a donut inside her head, and I can 100% prove that that happened. I have had serious body mutilations done to me, my lungs, my right kidney, blinding in my right eye. They're involved with drug trafficking as well, with drug traffickers, known drug traffickers, sex offenders, all registered sex offenders. And each and every one of them are guilty of torture crimes against me, including stalking, torturing, and killing my mother, torturing and killing 2 of my dogs, arson attempts at the address I was living where I was shot, throwing blood on that address as well, threats of stabbing, as well has happened to me. The ones that are O.p.p, human traffickers, sex slave traffickers, they're drug traffickers, including the ones selling laced fentanyl, committing overdose homicides as well, with the intent to commit homicide and have it covered up through the lacing because it's easy deniability. This guy here, he is actually homeless. Brad Wales, he is allegedly a pimp. He is a woman abuser, a child abuser. He is actually friends with my older brother, my older half-brother, where he actually goes to smoke crack. He is guilty of first-degree torture crimes against me and attempted murder. All of this has been going on with me for the past 6 years. This is Tony Hearns, and I know each and every person involved too, including 2 that are my cousins. And my own cousin personally admitted that he was involved with the crimes. For drop charges for a stabbing he committed against his wife or ex-wife's boyfriend, which actually happens to be this guy's boyfriend. This is Tony Hearns. He is a registered sex offender. They all are. He is a speed addict. He is guilty of attempted paralyzing me, skull splitting me, brain injure me, blinding me in my right eye. When I was going through my serious identity changes, I have pictures and videos where I look exactly like him, including the same cock eye that he even has and the red hair that he has. So I can prove my words. And once again, I know each and every person involved. He also goes by Axl Rose because of his red hair. This is one thing that was done to me. I now have, after I was shot, I now have a tube that comes up in my throat. It goes from my groin to my right nipple, to my throat, to the back of my head, to a spot on the back of my head where I get piss and shit going through me, feces through my head and my face from that. And that happens on a daily basis. This guy here is Bert Hustler. He used to date my wife after we separated. He is a schizophrenic. He is a meth head, a crackhead, and a morphine head. He is a child sex offender. Obviously, they all are. He is guilty of 6 years torture crimes against me. He is a slave trafficker, and he is guilty of attempted murder on me. And I can 100% prove my words. I even have his hair as well to prove DNA with this little fuck. He actually thinks that I am his girlfriend, Maggie, and he believes that he played hockey in the NHL for the Philadelphia Flyers and the Hartford Whalers. He is very seriously ill. This Crestwood here, I'm heading in towards O.p.p. to see about getting Spencer Miller's wife, William Woldridge, arrested and charged today, stalking, injuring, torturing. And obviously I look nothing like that. I have had serious changes done to me. And these are just a few of them. Physical changes I have actually been through while going through my identity theft, identity fraud. Because that's exactly what's taken place. Identity theft, identity fraud, with the intent to commit disability and insurance fraud and homicide against me. This is another picture of Bert Hustler, the one that used to date my wife after we were separated. And I also, once again, can prove I have pictures where I look just like him. He looks like a fucking bulldog. Excuse my language, but this is Raymond LeBlanc, because I'm trying to make this as serious as possible, because it is, and respectable. This is Raymond LeBlanc. He is a child groomer. He is guilty of stalking. He is guilty of torturing my dog in May 24, 2021. He is guilty of being involved with my identity theft, brain injury me, and attempted murder with intent. This is alleged O.p.p. supervisor Blair Hardy, Blair Kane. He is also a meth trafficker. He raped a woman at 45 Dundas Street East, Apartment 3 in Napanee, Ontario in 2021, who is now deceased. He attempted to collect welfare from my address, and I was not friends with him or associated with him in any way, shape, or form. And I put a stop to it. He is guilty of stalking torturing and causing my mother's death, killing her with Bill Woldridge, December 20th, 2020. He is guilty of first-degree murder against my mother and attempted murder against me. Jason Van Alstyne, he is guilty of 6 years stalking. He is guilty of 6 years brain injuring, torture crimes against me, including causing me strokes and heart attacks. He himself is a stroke victim, but he is still very much 100% involved, and I can prove his guilt. He is guilty of attempted homicide on me with the intent to commit identity fraud, disability fraud, and insurance fraud, and homicide. He is a crackhead. He is inbred. He sells laced fentanyl between Napanee and Kingston for overdose homicides because they're easy deniability and easier to cover up, being just an addict or a homeless person that bought bad drugs and conveniently died from it. It's being done with intent. This is Tyler Lake. He is the one guilty of arson attempts on previous address, stabbing threats. He is actually the boyfriend, lover to Ontario Provincial Police drug cop Robert Kane as well. He is guilty of first-degree attempted murder on me. And he's been involved with this for 6 years. And once again, he is only approximately 30, 35 years old. And I have pictures where I also look just like him. Shit. Bert Hustler again. And Maggie Falls. These are all the O.p.p traffickers with and for them. And one of them, this guy here, he is actually my cousin. He is approximately 85 years old. He is very seriously sadistic as well. He is also guilty of very serious crimes on me as a child because I would not eat a pickled onion to the point of stripping me naked and putting tuck tape on places where they shouldn't have been put, making me stand naked in a corner for 4 hours for not eating a pickled onion. He is now guilty, too, of being involved with crimes against me, and he is guilty of brain injuring me and attempted homicide against me as well. This is my cousin, Harry Hartwick. He actually one time picked up a woman, a native woman, that was hitchhiking who had a bunch of children. And because of her skin color, he picked her up and he actually made her drive in the trunk of her car because he didn't want her in his car. He's a piece of shit. There was another guy involved from Kingston, Ontario, too. He's involved with the human trafficking and sex slavery trafficking. His name is Robert Hanna. He is 28 years old. He is an ex-Bath prisoner who was in prison for child sex offenses and child pornography. When I was homeless on the streets in the shelter, I was friends with him until I found out the crimes he was guilty of. He is an ex-Bath prisoner for very serious child crimes. He has an internet ban. He hacked and cloned my phone to get on through my Google account. He gets on TikTok as a guy known as Jimmy Fry. He is a transvestite, and he is, like I said, approximately 28, 29 years old, balding on top, glasses, goatee, always wears a hat and headphones and a ponytail. He was living on Oak Street by a park. He may now be living at Hamilton House in Kingston, Ontario with his boyfriend, who is a furry named Eddie Robichaud, or in housing at Artillery Park in Kingston, Ontario. And he is involved in that part of the human trafficking and sex slavery trafficking. And because of me even being friends with him until I found out the crimes he was guilty of, he was actually at my place. Once again, because of me wanting to show pictures, my phone being hacked, it goes completely blank on me and won't let me show nothing. I have what is called Pegasus being used on my phone to track my phone as for the pictures, for microphone, camera, pretty much my entire iOS hacking and copying. I also have a lot of videos that are being shadow banned and also background copying on my computer, and I've seen it from it being hacked from having what is called Pegasus, which is police spyware software. There is others involved. I cannot mention any names. I have been under more serious threats. Other family members have been under threats of beating or of being killed as well. A nephew of mine who actually has absolutely nothing to do with this. In the meantime, I am a 6-year revenge retaliation, 100% provable, full physical identity theft, identity change victim, compliments of Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police, compliments of Robert Berry, who happens to be a Laidlaw truck driver who is also involved with this too, that lives on Bridge Street in Napanee, Ontario. He has a crowbar mustache, bald, glasses, and approximately 65 years old. Is Bert Hustler, Bill Wooldridge, or the one known as Bill Wooldridge, Robert Cross with all the alias names, Blair Hardy Kane, Jason Van Alstyne, Tyler Lake, Raymond LeBeau, Harry Hartwick, Dale Hartwick, Tony Hearns. And none of them can be arrested without $22,000 conveniently because they work with and for the police. Damage is done. Time has been bought. My medical rights, my legal rights, my human rights have been taken from me. And I can just imagine how many others this has been done to and how many others that they've gotten away with. I am also the end of my bloodline as well. I have half brothers, but I am also the end of my bloodline. So you are guilty of ending a bloodline by doing this to me. All 100% for revenge retaliation, serious mutilations, kidnapping, sex assaults, tortures, slavery, medical blacklisting through your criminal doctors to assure I get no help or proof as to what I was shot with once again. False arrest refusals, of course, extortion, kidnapping, everything done to try to turn this back around on me, everything done to try to stop me from getting this out, everything done in every way possible, shape, and form. Well, this is fucking finally finished on me. I have absolutely no feeling in my head, no feeling in my face. I have no brain stimulation from being so seriously injured and tortured over the course of 6 years. And once again, no matter what I have been able to show and prove, I have been called nothing but a delusional, hallucinating, retard, liar, and everything else. It has nothing to do with anything psychological. It's 100% criminal against me. When people disappear, families are murdered and missing, regardless of who it is. It's a police crime that's being done with lots of help, lots of times, lots of threats in between, causing homelessness because it's easier to take care of their victims as well if they're on the street alone. And that's a fact. Picture of me with my long hair, and none of these pictures are really that old either. So once again, I can just imagine how many others this has been done to and have gotten away with it. Right now, as I am actually doing this, also, the whole right side of my fucking body is starting to feel pretty limp. I've been having a lot of numbness in my left arm too, from pretty much my shoulder blades straight down to my tips of my fingers, and I'm having trouble even hanging on things. Okay, where to go? Christwood here. I am in the process of identity theft, identity change. Compliments of William Billy Waldridge. I am being changed to look like him. He is being hidden. He is being protected. He can verify this. He can prove this. He can implicate O.p.p. involved 402 days of crime on me, injuring, now 6 years, damaging me, being lived through, having illegal O.p.p. surveillance put into me, no criminal record or history, no brain problems prior to or after or prior to August 2019, but when this started, I now have electroshock in me, lobotomizing me. Like I said, I am in a process of identity theft, identity change, lies, cover-ups, medical record falsifications, medical discrimination, compliments of O.p.p. and mental health worker involved in this. Dangerous, guilty, sex offenders, human sex trade, slavery, trafficking, the poor, homeless, lies, cover-ups, 402 days of being injured, brain damage, compliments of Spencer Mills, compliments of mental health worker through William Billy Waldridge, who is the husband and who is the crime boss. Christwood here. I am in the process. And that's all been 100% proven. I've even had to put out videos from this starting because of all the changes of me going through, showing my tattoos just to prove my fucking identity. Excuse my language again. This was done to me, and this looks like I actually have fingers coming up through my skull. It's not like that now. I have what feels like a tube inside my head now, in the back part of my head, and it expands all the time and blows up where I get the piss and shit going through me, but it restricts my skull so much around here. In my temple areas, it will cave in and turn completely black and blue on me from the restrictions of my skull. And I'll actually show it turning my skull, my fucking head completely, totally black and blue. And that picture of me was done in July 20th. And this is August 22nd, a month ago. Big differences between now and then in just a month. There needs to be arresting, there needs to be charging, but obviously I cannot get it done. The police, they do not work for anybody but themselves and the criminals, because that's exactly what they are. And I do not have $22,000 to give them. Obviously, damage is done, and this is finished. Remember, once again, when people disappear, families are murdered or missing, regardless of who it is. It's the police-involved crimes, the homelessness, the lies, the time buying, the threats, the intimidations, and everything else. Because right now I am under forced confinement. I can't even go out alone. I try, I'm going to get beat or shot. And I look nothing like I even did earlier. I done a few live videos earlier, and I look even 100% different in them than what I do now, even. And that's no joke. If anybody wants to check it out for themselves, just in case. I was accused of being a tweaker earlier, so by somebody who just came on and assumed that, everything is all about drugs, and no matter what you can show or prove. Anyway, I am Christopher Wood. I live outside of Desirano, Ontario, or near Desirano, Ontario. I am a 6-year revenge, retaliation, police, human traffic, sex slave traffic, identity theft, identity fraud, torture, attempted murder victim for revenge retaliation for speaking of their human trafficking, homeless exploitation for monetary gain, and money laundering out of the Morning Star mission in Napanee, Ontario. And I became a target and a 6-year slave. Damage done. And the longer this goes on, because I cannot get any help, I am going to be even more completely and totally brain numb, to the point where this goes away, where it's going to be forgotten about, and it will be gotten away with. And then on to the next, where I am fucking framed, excuse my language again, where I am framed as one of these lowlives or something else. You speak police crimes in Ontario, I would advise you to have body bags, because you will possibly be needing them, and they will get away with it. No criminal record, no association. It's not about hate or nothing. It's about very serious criminal cops, very serious criminal doctors, and others who are committing very serious crimes against people and getting away with it, including murdering, torturing, and murdering 77-year-old women, animals as well. Be safe, everybody. This is no joke. Take it serious. I've been going through this for 6 years. Even on my introductory video shows a lot as well. Plus, I have over 5,000 other videos to show what I have been going through. And luckily, I cannot do anything about this. So, everybody involved, you got away with it and you are guilty of ending a bloodline because you work with and for the police and you are obsessed, low-life junkie pieces of garbage, and that's exactly what you are. Let this be a warning that if anybody thinks that they cannot go through identity theft and be physically changed, I am 100% proof. Oh, yes, you can. And it all happened to me after I was shot by ex-O.p.p chief or commander after speaking police crimes August 6, 2019 at approximately 3 p.m. in the afternoon on the corner of Bridge Street, Highway 41 and Highway 41 Center Street in Napanee, Ontario. Public, be safe, beware. They have no care or concern for life in any way, shape, or form, and neither do the doctors